Hi everybody and welcome to my kitchen. This may seem obvious to you, but here we love food. We love food from all different regions and from all different cultures. So today I want to start a new series celebrating one of my favorites. We're going to be doing some delicious, spicy, Mexican-inspired recipes. Today I'm going to be making this, a delicious bowl of chili con carne. These are all the ingredients that you're going to need. I've got some minced beef, chopped tomatoes, red kidney beans, some bell peppers, beef stock, and now for the spices, I've got some smoked paprika, oregano, marjoram, cumin, bay leaf, salt and pepper. I also have some garlic and onions, some chorizo, brown sugar, chocolate, which is the secret ingredient, and of course, chilies. I've got an assortment of different chilies here. These bird's eye chilies are the ones that are going to give us the heat. So I'm not going to chop them up or anything like that. I don't want anybody getting a nasty surprise as they're eating their chili for a super hot bit of chili. So these would be easy to remove if you desire to do so. But feel free to use whatever assortment of chilies you want. This is very, very customizable. So increase the heat if you want, decrease it. It's up to you. Finally, I also have some Tabasco, which I'm not going to put into the chili until the very, very end, so until actually serving. This is because I don't want to overdo it with the spiciness at that point, and this really helps to control the level of heat on an individual basis. So each person can add as much or as little as they want into their bowl. We're going to start by chopping our chorizo. I'm just going to slice it into kind of like medium to thick chunks. And now I'm going to put half of it into my frying pan and the other half into my pot. As I cook the chorizo, it's going to release a lot of its fat. So I'm going to use that fat to actually brown my ingredients. So there's no need for olive oil or oil of any kind. I have my heat low because I really want to render a lot of that fat out. While I wait for my chorizo to do its thing, I'm gonna chop up my peppers. Be vigilant of your chorizo as well. I can hear that it's starting to sizzle, so just stir around a bit, and you can see that fat is starting to coat the bottom of the pan, which is exactly what I wanted. Just gonna give my peppers a rough dice. Now that I can see that a lot of the oil has been released in both of my pans, I can actually increase the temperature up a little bit, give the chorizo a bit of color, and then I can add the onions and the meat. I'm happy with how that's looking, so I'm gonna add in all of my onion into my frying pan and half the garlic. Just give it a stir. Into my other pot, I'm gonna add my minced beef. Now, this is lean beef because the chorizo has a lot of fat, so I don't want it to be too fatty in the end. And just shake that about as well. I'm gonna season as well with salt and pepper. And as usual, the salt helps to release some moisture from the onions as well. I want to develop some color and flavor on my minced beef, so feel free to put up your temperature a little bit if you feel you need to, and just keep an eye on your onions as well. Next I'm going to prepare my chilies. As I said, I'm going to leave the bird's eye just whole, but I'm just going to slice my habaneros. And of course, me being me, I'm leaving the seeds on. Just going to put my peppers into the same bowl. And because I don't want any accidents, I'm gonna wash my hands. I'm going to add my spices to the onions. Because this mixture is drier, it's gonna help me to toast the spices a little bit and just gonna wake up those flavors. And in the meantime, I will add my beef stock to the mince. This is all nice and toasty and very, very fragrant. So I can now incorporate my onions and chorizo into the big pot. And mix it all together. Magic things are happening in this pot already. I cannot wait. I'm gonna leave that for about 2 minutes and then we can move on with the rest of the recipe. At this stage, I'm gonna go in with my peppers, the remaining of my garlic, and our bird's eye. Oh, I already smell the spiciness. You may ask yourself, how come I'm not using chili powder? Well, that's because I'm using fresh chilies. However, at the end, if you want to get that extra kick, you could of course add some chili powder for that extra bit of flavor. I'm now going to go in with my chopped tomatoes and stir it all together. This is already looking super delicious, but you gotta be patient. I'm assessing the levels of liquid in my pot, and I know that the bell peppers are gonna release a lot of liquid, and you can already see that this is happening. My mince is almost covered by water. So I'm not gonna add any more right now, but I'm gonna keep an eye on it and see, because we're gonna be cooking this for a while. So if I feel too much water has evaporated, I can add a little bit more. But at this point, I'm gonna go in with the bay leaf and just some extra salt and pepper for seasoning. And I'm gonna go in with my red kidney beans. Mix it all together. We wanna make sure that all those flavors marry each other really well in our pot. For me, that's the key to the ultimate chili. And once you have that, you can pop the lid on your pot. And we're gonna let it cook for 40 minutes to an hour. And again, just come back every couple of minutes, maybe every 15-20 minutes, give everything a bit of a stir, make sure nothing's sticking to the bottom, and assess your liquid levels. So I will see you in a while. My chili has been bubbling away for just over an hour, and you can see, like I said earlier, how much water is being released from the veggies. I didn't have to add anything extra to it. This is looking delicious. I'm gonna give it a bit of a taste. It's tasting good, but I feel like it needs a bit of extra depth of flavor. So I'm gonna add a couple of splashes of Worcestershire sauce. Had to think about that one for a minute. This is not really a traditional ingredient, but I think it's really gonna help to give me the flavor that I'm looking for. I also want to add in my chocolate. Stir that through and let it melt. Obviously, chocolate and chili is an unusual but very delicious flavor combination. I'm gonna let this cook for a few more minutes until the chocolate's dissolved, and taste it again and see if I need to adjust any of the seasoning. Like some brown sugar in case it needs a bit of extra sweetness, but we'll see how we're getting along. I gave my chili another taste, and the chocolate is a little bit overpowering, so I need to balance that out. I'm gonna go in with some crushed garlic, because I think that's gonna help to cut through the chocolate flavor. I also have some extra chili powder, and I'm gonna add in also about a teaspoon of my brown sugar. Stir that all together. And really, this is the part that is completely up to you. I can only tell you what I'm doing to suit my taste, but it's whatever you want it to be. After adding all my extra bits of seasoning, it's tasting exactly how I want it. It's so delicious. So let me plate up for you and I'll give it a taste. I have a bowl ready with some rice. I love to accompany my chili with rice, but you can do so many things with it. You can use it as a filling for a burrito, for example. You can put it on top of fried tortillas to make delicious nachos. It's fantastic. You can do so many things with it. Just gonna spoon some of my chili onto my bowl. You know me, I'm gonna want to put some toppings on top of this. So I have some jalapenos here for extra heat. I also have some sour cream. I have, of course, some Tabasco. And finally, heaps of cheese. And this, to me, is the perfect bowl of chili. The time has finally come. I'm salivating, my stomach is grumbling. I need to try this right now. This is the absolute best. The chili is so rich. I can taste all of the spices. I can taste the hint of that chocolate now. It's got amazing depth of flavor. And all the little toppings complement it so well. The sour cream gives it a lot of freshness. The cheese, I love cheese. And jalapenos and everything else, divine. This is hands down one of my favorite dishes. Make sure you give it a try. As you saw, I made a huge batch of this, but it freezes extremely well, so you can reheat it whenever you want some chili for a weeknight dinner or something like that. Or like I said, just take some small portions for nachos or burritos. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I implore you to try this recipe. It is absolutely delicious. Delicious, delicious. Once you try it, you will never be able to get enough. If you like this recipe, make sure you give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments below what you thought of it. And maybe other toppings or other ways that I can customize it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. I've got fantastic Mexican inspired recipes coming up. But in the meantime, if you want to check out some traditional Irish recipes, click the card up here. With that, I leave you and enjoy.